so bloody annoying. And hello. It's nice to be back without any clag. God, it's been a bit rough. Didn't stop me, but nearly did. Today we've got promise of weather like this. Not going to be red hot tonight, but apparently the big freeze that they always threaten us with is coming tomorrow. Same kind of surroundings as last week. We're going, just gone past Cutthroat Bridge, up, oh now then, forget the name of the clough, and we're just trundling up on this gentle incline on our way to Derwent's Edge. November update, good news. Now done just over 60 kilometres in movement, so I've actually hit my target. I am going for 100, so I'll do that. It's only halfway through. I have raised £105. There's £80 in donations. Thank you to those people who've donated this last week. Plus, if I get donations today, then Pringles will give me 20 quid as well. So thank you, Pringles. I've got on my, when I set my November page up, I put a team bit on it, and someone's donated £25 to the team as well, which is brilliant. So that's well over my target for that. You can see the tash, which is driving me bonkers. Can't wait to get that blooming thing off my face. Yeah. And weight loss. I am currently on 1 stone 3 pounds. So I think I'm something like 24% towards my target. And I'm really pleased with that. Had to strip a layer off. Didn't think I'd be in a t-shirt in November. Still got about 80 metres left of climbing. Surprising. I didn't really tell you much about Hurkling Stones when I attempted to set my tarp on fire last week. So I've come, my route here this morning or this afternoon was, went onto Mortimer Road at Mid-Hopestones. I came across Strines. And on the way, you go past, on the right hand side, Hurkling Edge. And there is a Hurkling Stone there. And there are other ones in the Peak District. There's one on White Edge. In fact, the one on White Edge has got a fascinating story. And unusually, we actually know the names of people involved and some details. And we can even probably say who made the marks on the Hurkling Stone that's there. Anyway, this one is also called Hurkling Stone. So what are they? Well, Hurkling is an old Norse word meaning crouch. I've no idea why that makes Hurkling Stones a boundary marker. So it would be an important boundary between a parish, or possibly even between where two shepherds take their sheep. The one on Hurkling Edge, I believe, was the one where shepherds used to meet, used to congregate around it. Don't know, maybe crouch down, who knows. Long time ago, lost in history. So that's Hurkling Stones. There's some cracking little bivvy spots here. Look at that one and that one. Beautiful. That'll do. Hi love, has that every parcel come? Just have a look for me, please. Oh, it has. Smashing. Yeah, can you just throw it over? Oh, okay. Right then. Smashing. So, this is what Every dropped off for me. This is a 3FULgear Trailstar clone, whatever they call it. It's the Flames Creed variant, but they're made in the same factory in the same company that manufacture them. God, footprint's huge. It's really spread about. It's my first time I've pitched it, and I'm very impressed. The amount of space it gives you inside is massive. Look at that. Wow. Sun's just on its way down. I've got myself a time lapse going, and the temperature's dropping. Yeah, definitely. I've got my coat on. I'm upping my organisation game in the tent and also my carrying stuff. And to that end, I've got this bum bag. It's always an issue. Where do you store this? Now, it is a really good selfie stick. I mean, it's very, very long. It is a bit bulky, but it's a fantastic tripod. And this is the one that takes a 1/4 inch thread on it. And what I've done, I've got a running bag, which has got one of the bottle holders at the side. And I can put it in there. And it's even got a bungee that you can tighten and a little buckle strap that you can tighten, which I'm chuffed with. The bottle on the other side, the bottle holder, has got a closed bottom, and that's brilliant for my flexi pump. So that's in there. Then I've got my, well, I'll call it my gadgets. I've got my camera equipment, got my little GoPro clone, which is my Wolfgang camera, which I'm currently doing a time lapse on. Torches, head torches, that kind of thing. All my electronic kit. I've got a power bank in there. It's actually quite heavy, but it's really accessible and it's really easy to get to. I tend to carry the camera in my hand or in my pocket with the cover on it. Got I'll put the book. Oh, here it is. Look, yeah. I've got this cover which is brilliant. It's a clamshell, clamps over the top, covers the screen, keeps it dry. I mean, it wouldn't keep it dry in torrential rain, but it keeps it dry in the kind of rain that I'm out in. So, yeah. And this is tonight's bivvy. This is a Katmandhu Trekking bivvy. You can see it's got a huge hoop. I think that's 3 foot in diameter. Massive space inside. It's almost like a tent. Now, I'm not sure I would like to zip both those up in front and completely enclose you, but I think that's going to be quite good. It should actually be off my sleeping bag. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it here. I'm going to put it inside the tarp. Yeah, so that's Katmandhu Trekking, a British company. It's British made, is this? Or I should say they were. They're no longer in business, unfortunately. There is a Katmandhu company who make bags in New Zealand. So this is a Triangia fuel burner. Invented in the 1950s. It's a brass container with an O-ring. which I think is because you can store fuel in them, put the top on, and then you've got this vessel full of fuel. However, Triangia and lots of advice says you mustn't store fuel in them. Why would they put an O-ring in? Why can you buy spare O-rings? Who knows? It's quite a clever design. So your fuel sits in this part here, and you light it through the top. And initially the flame comes from this centre partition. And as it heats the brass up, it heats the fuel up, and the fuel vaporises and goes inside this edge section where there is a wick. So the fuel in there gets hot and it vaporises, and then the fuel comes out of this row of holes. So you get little jets coming out of it. And it looks like it's a very fast way of burning. Faster it burns, the more heat you get, the faster it boils, cooks your food. Comes with a few problems. First of all, as a brass container, this is quite heavy. Secondly, yeah, the O-ring can sometimes leak. You've got to be careful about checking it. But the most drastic thing is, when you tilt that up, all the liquid that's in there, hot liquid, tips out and the flames immediately ignite it. And that's what happened to me last week. I think what I did, I either nodded off, banged the pan lid, or as I moved around I caught the pan and it knocked my whole setup over. This went over. Luckily I was boiling water and the water hadn't boiled, so the water went some way to help not make sure the fire was too bad. However, it is hot fuel, so it does burn. It ruined my ground sheet. I've had to order another one. That didn't come. I ordered it and then saw the new tarp I've got. But the new tarp's beating it here. The ground sheet beat it to the airport, but then the tarp's beating it here to my Wheelstone delivery. Yeah, so that's the Triangia one. Now, I aren't using those anymore. I aren't risking it. I've got a different way, which I'll show you when I do tonight's cooking. I am trying to play a little bit more tidily and organised. I'm acutely aware that if it was windy, the wind would be underneath the tarp. I mean, I could lower it to ground a bit, I know, and I could take the middle up higher, I do know that. But things would be blowing all over the place. I'll be losing them out the bottom, and just got to be more tidy and organised. And to that end, I'm keeping all my electronics in there. 5 degrees now, it's dropped. Keeping all my foodstuffs in there. I'm trying to lay all my clothing on top of the tarp, the bivvy bag until I need it all. I've put my puffer on. It's wonderful, this, and I know it's not a very expensive one, but amazing. The time comes round to the time for some beer, and I've got a McEwen's Champion 7.3. I haven't gone in for any fancy beers tonight. I've had a bit of a run round at home this week, so I just took a couple of beers out of my cupboard and I had a 4-pack of these. And of course I'm not drinking beer because I'm trying to, it's very fattening and it lowers your resistance, so you pick up too much sweet stuff. So anyway, cheers. Oh, I do like that stuff. I don't think I did at first. I think when I had to work at it. I think I saw Steve drinking it on his videos and managed to get some, and I thought, well, it's a strong beer, but it's not special. and I might have had a 4-pack. And by the time I got to the fourth one, I was thinking, oh, that's okay, is that? And I particularly like the strength. I do like, as you know, strong beers. Although I've just seen that my mate Simon's having a 12% one at the beer house, I think. So I'm quite jealous, really. I nearly called in and got one, but I just didn't have time today. Right, so we're not using a Triangia. So what have I done? So I've got the Alocs kit out again. And this is what's inside it. Can you see that okay? The Alocs 7-piece kit give you this cloth, and I swear its only function is to stop the rattling inside. Okay, so that latches on as normal. Now that is actually solid. What I think I did last week is I knocked that, and that's it, that's over, I think. Or I just smashed into it and it all went. So what have I done? Right. I'm not going to put a Triangia burner back in there. But what I might put in is this. This is an Xboil. And this is a really annoying thing about getting the lid off them. But it does come off. Now inside there you've got this carbon matting. When you light that and knock it over, all it is on its side burning. The fuel does not spill out. It's brilliant. There's a problem though. It just drops straight through. So that's clearly not going to work with the Alocs set. So what do? So you take a Triangia, you rip off the top of it, and then that sits in there. Okay. Why would you do that? Because you're going to get lower performance, aren't you? So that's full of fuel, look. It just doesn't spill. So I like this little Forest Fundamental. I'll put a link in these in the description. So that's a 100mm one. And that is a 200mm one. So those two together are the same amount of fuel as I get in my red bottled Triangia one. And she's a light. Just watch this. That's not going anywhere. Now I have one issue, and that's putting the blooming thing out. So you can do that. You can just give it a good blow as well. But actually, what I do is the lid I put on the inside there, and then I put that on top. So you can see there we're just a little bit higher. Now, what I was saying earlier about the Triangia burning giving you those jets coming through, what I did, I lit my Triangia burner, put it into here. I put 500 grams of cold water on there and set it going from scratch, without it blooming, and boiled it. Then I put everything into cold water, so it was back at lower temperature, and I replaced it with the Xboil burner, 500 gram. The difference was, and I'm honestly shocked about this, the Xboil burner boiled the water 40% faster than the Triangia one. So not only is this much smaller, incredibly light burner, every advantage, but it's also much safer. So that is tonight's cook set. Well, it's 5:30. A short while ago, a guy in a quad went along the path, and I knocked my lights off and went and stood outside, and he came round the back of Wheelstones. He said, "No camping here, mate, you're going to pack up and go." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "This is Wheelstones, there's hundreds of videos on YouTube about people camping here." He says, "No," he said, "you're not allowed to camp here." I says, "Right." I said, "Well, I've got a problem." I said, 2 cans of beer. I'm not in any kind of condition to be packing up and walking off here. He said, what do you mean? I said, "Well," I said, "if I can pack up safely and then walk down that path, I can't walk down that path safely when I've had 2 beers. I'll break my ankle." And he was thinking about it. I know they've reduced your care to you. He said, "Right, I'm going to let you stay, but make sure you take everything away with you, leave no trace." I said, "I will do better than that." I said, "I always go around and pick up all the rubbish at sea." I said, "When I camped at Hurkling Stones last week, I got every little bit of rubbish. I said, "It makes me sick." He said, "Well, it was me as well. They have fires and they leave all the crap." And I said, "Absolutely." I said, "And I completely get your job. I understand." I said, "But I'm a good guy. I wild camp all the time. And I know how to leave things and how to respect things." He says, "Right." And we shook hands. And he went. He's got a difficult position, and I don't disagree. The law is stupid on wild camping. I would happily pay a licence to wild camp, as long as that meant that the idiots that leave all that rubbish were held to account for it. Because, like I said before, it boils me blood. So there you go. Right, second beer. Brewdog Black Heart. Now, I like Brewdog as a company, but I like Black Heart. When I got married, my wife said to me, "Go and have your haircut." I goes, "For me, that's go to the local barbers." And she said, No. Tony and Guy in Leeds." What? So, completely new experience for me going to a proper salon. And the guy there, Ben, well, it's incredible what they do when they cut your hair. Amazing. He was a real artist. And over a couple of years, I got to know Ben as you get to know your hairdresser. And he left Tony and Guy, set up on his own. And a few months ago, I went back to, and his place is called Black Heart. He had a band called the Little Black Hearts. He's a real character, but he is a craftsman. So this is for you, Ben. Cheers. Beautiful. Not as good as Champion, but nice. Quick update. We are 11:30, so it is just dropped noticeably cooler. With the clags dropped down, the cloud level is obviously lowered. You can see that there's moisture everywhere. I'm quite warm. Let me just review that. Got my sealskin socks on, slum shorts, got the sleeping bag liner on. Got my puffer jacket on and my thermal buff. I think I'm going to grab a peg and put this up, because when this goes up I have a cover that comes around my face. Yeah, I think that's going to be worthwhile doing. So I'll do that. So that's my nighttime review.
Morning. That was a good night's sleep. Woke at 10 o'clock and the cloud had come down. And it was very cold because the moisture in the air. Put my buff on. A couple of hours later, 2 o'clock-ish, I thought there was a torch on the side of the tarp. It's because the clag had cleared and the moon had swung round. And it was the moon on the tarp, really bright. Yeah, good. It's 7 o'clock now. Sunrise soon. We're not going to see the sunrise today. I think this. I'm probably going to walk down in clag. So my plan will be break the sleeping system down. This bivvy's been great. I don't know how much condensation there's going to be inside it, but I like the room in it. I think it even works without the rod that's in it. Oh, something else I did when it was cold. I pegged out the front of it to put the hoop up to give me that protection over that. I quite like it. I'm going to investigate a camp just in this, or with a smaller tarp just covering the front, my head sort of side. What I might do is take my tent out somewhere, set the tent up as my shelter, and then set the bivvy and a tarp up and just see how I get on. So I've got the tent to bail back onto. Oh, that's a bit daft. Didn't put any tea bags in. one of those things where it's nice to, you think, well, that's a good thing to have. So that's your table. Fire maple. I'll put a link in the product in the doobly-doo. There are 4, so it will go that high if you need it to. It's not the lightest of things. This is stainless steel. These are aluminium. I think it's 450 grams again. I'll put that. So table-wise, of course, the idea of a table is a good idea. I mean, I could push that in further and actually put my stove on there if I haven't got any flat ground. Dang, it's stuck. What a fantastic camp. Really enjoyed that. Main points. New equipment. The hip bag for my electronics and stuff. Brilliant. But that might be why my back was hurting during the night and it was really painful. So I need to look at maybe reducing the load of it, or there's some clips on it. I could maybe strap it around my shoulders maybe. Am I just going to transfer the pain? I don't know. The Trailstar copy, brilliant, fantastic piece of kit. But I was really surprised how heavy it was this morning when it's wet. I did shake some of it off, and I suppose I could have wiped it with a cloth. But you're not really bothered in the morning. I suppose if you're doing a multi-day hike, it's an issue. There was a lot of condensation. Everything inside the tarp had a film of water on it. But it's the weather, and the season. So that ranger guy, it sort of goes with the territory, doesn't it? He was only doing his job. I understand that. For future,
I need to think about my stealth game. I mean, I did see his quad earlier on. I think I should have just gone and sat on top of Wheelstones and waited for him to pass again. I knew he was there. And thinking about it, maybe those lights I saw last week were the Rangers as well. So we'll see. But thank you really for watching. Really appreciate you getting through to the end of the video. I'm going to be doing these. I'm not doing one next week, but I'm aiming to do one every week. I'm not doing one next week because this is the last time in my lovely Polo. I've got a new vehicle that I'll be getting sorted out next week, which is quite exciting. Go on, you know you want to. Hit that like button. Go on, the likes tell the algorithm it's an important video. And stick a comment underneath, you know, say, brilliant Phil, loved it, or really don't like you doing that bit, or whatever. Or maybe some tips for me, maybe some, you know, some ideas I've missed. There's lots of things in the video for you to comment on, I'm sure. And I hope to see you in 2 weeks. Thank you for watching.